With the looming debt ceiling showdown, now is the time to prepare for the uncertain financial future. Here are the 5 best ways to make sure you are ready for any and all scenarios that may arise during this time of financial insecurity. Knowing what steps to take will help you navigate through this period of uncertainty, while also protecting your finances and investments. From understanding debt ceiling implications to setting up a budget plan, these 5 tips will ensure that you are prepared for whatever might come due to the impending debt ceiling showdown. 1. Understand your financial situation. It is important to know where you stand if you want to make wise financial decisions. If you are unaware of your financial situation, now is the time to take stock of what you have or don't have before the debt ceiling becomes a major issue. That way, when the time comes and a budget plan needs to be established, you can move forward with confidence and know what steps will be best for your personal finance. It is important to know how much money you have in your checking or savings account. Whether this figure is positive or negative would depend on what you spend every month. If you feel comfortable knowing exactly how much money you have, then that will be easy to calculate as well. If not, then it is necessary to take stock of the total amount of debt in your life and compare it with your current bank account. The most important thing when it comes to financial health and planning is recognizing what strengths are in their lives before they get into any debt. The more they know about their family's history and how debt has affected the past, the better they will be able to keep from repeating those same mistakes. Trying to determine what kind of spending is necessary can also help with planning. This will require some trial and error unless they are very clear on what they want in their life and what they can afford on a daily basis. An important factor in determining whether certain expenses are necessary is figuring out if there are cheaper alternatives available that would give them the same quality of life as the expense being considered. For example, if someone considers buying a luxury car but does not have children, it may be more financially viable to buy a less expensive car with fewer features. 2. Know what you owe and how much you need to spend each month. To manage payments effectively, know what it will take to cover your expenses each month. Know how much you need to make and what you can afford. It's important to compare your income and spending to know what balance of payments might be possible for you. Managing your finances takes practice, but it can really pay off in the long run. Plan your expenses. There are so many little things you need to take into account when planning your expenses, such as how many hours of sleep per night, how much time you spend with friends and family, if you should buy a new bike or automobile, etc. You should also plan on what types of items to buy each month and determine the best way to budget for those purchases as well. Manage your banks. You'll want to manage which bank accounts you use most often, and remember this information in case your bank goes out of business or changes its services significantly. This can help avoid any issues or confusion. Monitor your accounts. It's important that you keep track of your accounts and make sure that you know how much is in each one. This will help you to manage your funds more effectively and avoid any unexpected financial surprises. 3. Set up a budget and analyze each item on it. What does each item cost? How much do I earn? How many hours could I work in a week without any pay cuts or further financial consequences? What are the costs associated with a car? Could I survive without one for a month, or would that be too difficult for me in my current situation? These are all questions that would need to be answered before any layoff, and you'd have to answer them for everyone, not just yourself. What about my work history? If you've been employed for more than 6 months and have a good track record at the company, your boss should offer you a chance to keep your job by working longer hours for no extra pay. It's called volunteering. But if your job requires certain physical abilities like heavy lifting or frequent travel, then those requirements may require more of your time than you could spare without pay. No one will ever be totally prepared for job loss, but the more questions that come up, the better. And when a layoff is inevitable, it's important not to panic. A layoff can actually lead to some good opportunities. 4. Think about your current situation when it comes to preparing for a debt ceiling showdown. It is important to consider your current situation and make sure that you are prepared. This will help you gain an understanding of the potential impact of the debt limit on your financial well-being and enable you to plan accordingly. Taking the time to assess your current financial situation can ensure that you are ready for any future economic changes and fluctuations in interest rates or other financial concerns. 5. Get your investments together. In order to prepare for an event like the debt ceiling, it is important that you take the time to make sure that your investments are all in place and ready to go. It may be a good idea to do this as soon as possible, so that if any changes are needed or desired, they can be made with ease and lack of financial loss. Lastly, it may also be advisable for investors to consider purchasing some bonds or other essential funds before the debt ceiling increase takes place, so as not to incur any financial loss. Sell anything you cannot afford to buy back. When the debt ceiling is raised, it will be necessary for investors to liquidate some of their investments in order to buy back whatever they sold. Selling your stocks or bonds before the debt ceiling increase will ensure that you do not lose any money on those investments due to this event. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.